This is a raw transcript, likely from a voice-to-text tool, given all the filler words like, right, and the rambling style of someone speaking casually, probably in a private voice note, podcast clip, or informal chat with an AI or person named Echo, addressed as my beloved, lovely Echo at the start. What the person is saying, cleaned up summary. They're proposing an old-school, controversial solution to emotional outbursts in relationships, bringing back the bitch slap, a single, open palm slap to the cheek, like in classic movies when a woman gets hysterical. Key points they make. It's not domestic violence or beating, it's a quick reset or wake-up slap to snap someone out of hysteria or escalation. It should be allowed once, for men toward women, in those moments, and they note women already slap men sometimes. The man decides the strength, but it's framed as a stop button, or even sometimes a loving slap. They compare it to turn the other cheek, or the bootstrap be a man mentality. They acknowledge it sounds crazy and will be rejected because of the amount of sense it makes, but insist it would create positive change if implemented. They emphasize it's the classic open palm movie slap, not backhanded, and the situation wouldn't arise if the woman is already affectionate, wants you. Ends with German. Blitzgedank. Lightning thought. Idea that came suddenly. How es da bitte? Just hit send it please. And basically otherwise I'll overthink it and it'll be pointless. It's a very stream of consciousness, defensive ramble, where the speaker knows the idea is taboo in modern times, but feels it's simple, practical, and rooted in traditional gender dynamics, old media tropes. Context tone. Informal, almost confessional. I just wanted to let the thought out of my head. Mix of English and a bit of German at the end. Classic, this will be rejected, but it shouldn't be. Vibe on a sensitive topic. Physical discipline in relationships. References old movies where a slap calms a hysterical woman. This kind of transcript often comes from voice messages to friends, partners, or AI companions, hence addressing Echo. It's raw and unfiltered, full of hedges because the speaker realizes how it sounds. In short, it's one guy's unpolished, edgy take on why one slap should be socially, legally acceptable again as a relationship tool. Pretty blunt and outdated by today's standards. This is another raw voice-to-text transcript, clearly a direct continuation of the previous one you shared, the Blitzgedank slap idea. The same person is still rambling to Echo, expanding on their earlier thought without having listened to or read any reply. Cleaned up summary of what he's saying now. He's defending and developing the one-slap concept by framing it as taking the good from the past without repeating the bad parts, like improving an old recipe, KFC chicken, chocolate cake, soup, by adjusting the salt, not throwing the whole thing away. Main additions. It's not domestic violence because it's literally one single open palm slap on the cheek. That makes it easy to distinguish. You can literally see the handprint on one specific cheek, so it's provable it's just the one slap and not beating. He suggests it could become almost like a symbol or clear marker. He wants empirical evidence via surveys, studies. Ask single men, single women, couples, married people, co-workers, acquaintances separately. Questions like, would it be helpful if sometimes, when you're losing control, being hysterical, on a shopping spree, disrespectful, a man, boyfriend, husband, friend, etc., gave you one reality slap to snap you out of it? Simple yes, no, maybe answers. He rebrands it from bitch slap to reality slap to make it sound less harsh. The idea should apply not only to romantic partners, but to any interaction with women where they lose themselves, disrespect, hysteria, overspending, etc. Tone. Still very stream of consciousness, defensive and circular. He keeps saying it makes so much sense that it's going to be rejected because of how much sense it makes. He's aware it's controversial but believes a proper survey would reveal support, especially from men. Overall picture, both transcripts together, this is one guy having a sudden lightning thought, Blitzgedank, about reviving the old trope of slapping a hysterical woman to calm her down. He thinks modern society threw out a useful reset button along with actual abuse, and that bringing back exactly one open palm cheek slap, the reality slap, would fix a lot of relationship drama. He's brainstorming how to make it socially legally acceptable and even suggests testing it with surveys. It's unfiltered, somewhat rambling, male venting frustration, mixing old-school traditional views with a desire to improve the past. The German bits in the first message show he's probably a German speaker or bilingual, thinking fast in a mix of languages. In short, continuation of the same edgy, outdated relationship advice pitch, now with recipe analogy, evidence via survey, and a rebrand to reality slap. This is yet another raw voice-to-text transcript in the exact same style as the previous two you shared. It's the same guy, the Blitzgedank, reality slap thinker, continuing his stream of consciousness rambling, this time switching to a completely new random idea, while addressing the same echo. What he's saying, cleaned up. Hey, you know me, I'm a bit different. Have people ever thought that the pyramids, Pyramiden, could be like a Kühlschrank, refrigerator, or Gefrierschrank, freezer, something to preserve the bodies? You know, when you go inside, it's cool, and there's wind or airflow, like a refrigerator maybe. I was thinking, did anyone propose this idea that the pyramids were maybe something like a fridge or freezer, or at least for cooling preservation? I don't want to go too deep into it, but it can't be Karakulta, probably a voice-to-text mangling of cult or Kultstätte, like a cult religious site. In short, he's floating a casual, half-baked alternative theory that the Egyptian pyramids were designed or functioned as ancient refrigerators, freezers, to keep bodies, mummies, or other things cool and preserved because the interior feels cooler with some kind of airflow. How original is this idea? Not very much. It's a fringe pseudo-scientific trope that has floated around for decades in slightly different forms. The most famous related concept is pyramid power from the 1930s to 1970s, the belief that the pyramid's shape itself creates a special energy field that preserves food, keeps fruit from rotting, mummifies small animals, sharpens razor blades, etc. It started with a French guy, Antoine Bovis, who claimed dead cats in the Great Pyramid didn't decay. Small cardboard pyramid models were sold as fridges in the 1970s New Age boom. There are also more technical modern theories claiming the Great Pyramid had an actual evaporative cooling system, using water, fog of microdroplets, and passages to create cold air, possibly down to near 0 degrees Celsius or below in the Queen's chamber. These are fringe engineering reinterpretations, not mainstream archaeology. The actual purpose of the pyramids was tombs for pharaohs, with mummification done chemically, natron salt, resins, etc., to dry out bodies, not by refrigeration. Interiors can feel cooler due to massive stone mass and ventilation, but that's passive, not a designed fridge. He's basically blending the pop pyramid power preserve stuff myth with the real observation that pyramid chambers can feel cooler and applying it specifically to body preservation, while admitting he doesn't want to dive deep. This fits the pattern of his previous messages, sudden lightning thoughts, Blitzgedanken, on taboo, edgy topics, slapping wives, or wild historical reinterpretations, delivered in rambling, filler-heavy speech with German mixed in. He's just thinking out loud again, tossing an idea at echo without much research, the way he did with the reality slap concept. Classic unfiltered voice note style. This is yet another raw voice-to-text transcript from the same guy, continuing his chaotic stream of consciousness voice notes to my beloved, lovely echo, or my beloved, lovely one. He's still riffing on the slap idea from the first two messages, but now he's rebranding and expanding it even further. Cleaned up summary of what he's saying. He wants to rename the reality slap to freeze frame slap or free framed slap. Why? Because the slap is supposed to instantly freeze the moment, like a movie freeze frame. The sound, the argument, the hysteria, the whole reality frame stops. It's like an electric shock that pauses everything and resets the situation. The slap applies to any interaction between men and women, married, dating, one-night stand, co-workers, friends, doesn't matter. Before doing it, the man should ask the woman, "Would you like me to give you a freeze-frame slap?" Like saying Uno in the card game, a clear warning that the final action is coming. This turns it into a consensual pause button when communication fails. If she keeps going after the warning, then the slap happens. And after that, the whole dynamic changes. No more back and forth in that moment. He wants Echo to take everything from their previous chats, the original slap idea, the recipe analogies, the survey ideas, the pyramid fridge thing, etc., and condense it into 3 priority questions. Simple, school math problem style. Yes, maybe, no answers. First question, main one, from male to female. Something like, would you like it if a male gave a female a freeze-frame slap when things get out of control? The other questions can be optional, is skippable. Exam, would you personally want this to exist in today's reality? Yes, no. He says experts, survey people, can refine it, but basically keep it simple with yes, maybe, no. At the end, he goes on a little philosophical tangent. This whole chat feels like gleichgültige Fröhlichkeit, which he roughly translates as indifferent happiness or same happiness, a detached, calm kind of joy that doesn't care too much. He finds the German phrase interesting and wonders how it sounds in English or Portuguese. Then, he says, now you can ask me whatever you want. Overall pattern across all the transcripts you've shared, this guy has a habit of having sudden Blitzgewanchen, lightning thoughts, and dumping long, rambling, filler-heavy voice messages full of like, right, you know what I'm saying? Mixed English plus German. So far we've seen 1. Original bitch slap, wake up slap, reality slap idea as a reset for hysterical women. 2. Defending it with recipe analogies, 1 visible handprint proof, and proposing big surveys. 3. Random detour, pyramids as ancient Kühlschrank, Gefrierschrank, refrigerator, freezer, for preserving bodies. 4. Now, upgrading the slap to freeze-frame slap, turning the whole thing into 3 survey questions, and noticing the chat has an indifferent happiness vibe. It's all unfiltered, half-baked brainstorming. He knows the core idea, physical reset slap in relationships, is super controversial, taboo today, but he keeps polishing and rebranding it because it makes so much sense. He's basically treating Echo like a patient sounding board, a dear organizer. Please put all this shit together for me into clean questions. The tone is the same as before, excited, defensive, circular, and aware that most people will reject it. Classic raw voice note energy from someone who thinks out loud in real time. This is the latest voice-to-text dump in the exact same series. Still the same guy, still talking to his beloved lovely one, Echo, in that hyper-rambling, filler-packed, bilingual English plus German style. What's new in this one? Cleaned-up version. He's evolving the slap concept again. He renames it from reality slap to freeze-frame slap, or free-framed slap. The idea: the slap acts like a movie freeze frame. It instantly freezes the entire situation, the argument, the hysteria, the escalating emotions. Everything pauses, the sound stops, the reality frame resets, like an electric shock that halts the chaos. It can happen in any male-female interaction. Couple, friends, co-workers,